This question also helps with that first one in, first one out mentality that a lot of people are scared of when they're looking for a new job. It also gives you a peek into the company outside of what you probably researched online so that you can really determine if they're walking the walk and talking the talk. Welcome back to my channel where I teach high achievers how to land new jobs they love at companies they love. And in today's video, I'm going to be walking you through some of the top questions you should be asking in your interviews if you want to, one, impress the interviewer, obviously, and two, if you want to make sure that you're going to the best place for you. So if you want to know what questions you should be asking to stand out and leave a great impression, then you're gonna want to stick around until the very end, because any one of these questions could be a game changer for you or your interviews. So let's just jump right into them. So one of the first questions I recommend asking is, ideally, if offered this role, what are some of the biggest priorities that you would like me to tackle in the first 90 days? There are a couple of reasons why you want to make sure that you're asking this question. Number one, it shows that you are a problem solver. It shows that you're not just looking for any job, but you're really looking to go to a place where you can add value and contribute right away. And it also shows that you're thinking about how you can be successful. So again, it's not about just getting a job and being able to say you work at this XYZ company or this amazing brand, but it shows them that you really are looking for ways to be an asset in the position. And then the other thing about this question is that it really allows them to visualize you in the role, because when they're answering what they want you to accomplish in 90 days, they're thinking about you in the position more than anybody else at that time. So it allows them to start thinking about, oh, you would probably be a great fit for this role, or this is what we would want you to do in this position. And it allows them to also think about your experience and what your experience brings to the table while they're answering that question. And then finally, why I recommend asking this question is because it allows you to decide if you want to work there. So if they're telling you what they want you to accomplish in the first 90 days, it gives you a deeper insight on the job description and what you're going to be doing once you actually start the job, which gives you the opportunity to decide if that's what you want to do. If it's not what you want to do, then it's probably not the best role for you. Another question you want to ask is a little bit more meatier, but I like to ask this question because it shows them that you've already done your research and it allows them to feel like you really do want to be a great addition to the team. And so the question that you want to ask is this: I noticed that you all are big on collaboration and failing fast, and I could imagine that being flexible and adaptable are even more essential right now with everything going on. What other qualities have become even more vital in a new hire since the beginning of the pandemic? With a lot of virtual interviewing going on because of this pandemic, a lot of companies are finding it harder and harder to determine if a person's actually going to be a great addition to the team beyond just fulfilling the role. So asking this question goes beyond the duties of the job and allows them to really see that you are interested in being a great addition to the team. So when in your interviews, you still want to be able to show that you have values, a work style, and a personality that aligns with the culture of the company. And so this question allows you to do that. And it also gives you a peek into the company beyond what you probably read online to see if they really do have qualities that will allow you to thrive in the company and on their teams. By the way, if you're like, I'm loving these questions and I cannot wait to ask them, but I'm not really getting any interviews, then do not worry, because I have a free guide on how to go from 0 interviews to dream job offers. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. The link is below. Okay, moving on to the next one. Another question you want to consider asking is, what are the company's biggest challenges right now, and in what way will this role help alleviate that? One of the main things I hear from high achievers who are feeling unfulfilled in their roles is that they feel like their job isn't as important to the company. And so maybe they're in marketing, but they feel like the company doesn't really understand what marketing does and therefore doesn't really value what the team contributes or what that person contributes. And that can be really draining, going to work every day feeling like you have to fight for why your role exists. You don't want to have to do that. And so when you ask this question, it allows you to determine if they really value your role when it comes to the higher objectives of the company. You also need to understand the challenges the company might be facing in light of everything going on, so that you can determine if this is somewhere where you really want to be and where you feel like you can really help them and solve their challenges. This question will allow you to get even more details on how the company is faring in light of everything happening right now. And when you're asking this question, I really urge you to pay attention to their body language, to how they answer the question, if they have some awkward pauses. If they're not willing to share with you the challenges that the company is facing right now, then that probably is a red flag that you might not want to join that company. This question also helps with that first one in, first one out mentality that a lot of people are scared of when they're looking for a new job. When you know that you're joining a company that is very clear on how you can help them solve their challenges, then you're going to be less likely to be the first one out if something happens, because they know that they're hiring you because they've already determined that you will help them alleviate their problems or solve their challenges. Next, if you are interested in making sure that the onboarding process is as smooth as possible in your next position, then you're going to want to ask this question. But first, when you're asking this question, you want to be a little suave with it. You want to add a little spice to make it nice, and to make sure that you're really prefacing this question to show that you are first interested in adding value and being a great asset to the team. So you would say something like, I'm interested in joining a company where I can contribute and add value right away. Could you share more about the onboarding process in light of COVID-19? What changes have been made to ensure that new hires are still successful once they join the team? We all know that the first 90 days are crucial to success. So you want to make sure that you are joining a company that has already thought through how they can make sure that you're set up for success. Whether you're going to be fully remote or you're going to be working in the office every other day, whatever the arrangement is, you want to know what changes have they put in place to ensure that when you are onboarded into the team, that it goes smoothly and effectively. But as a disclaimer, you probably want to hold off on this question and wait to ask this question in the final round of interviews, because that is when you know that you're their top pick and you're that much closer to getting hired. Moving on, you can toss this other question in there too. Is there anything that concerns you about my background being a fit for this role? You know, I'm all about being proactive. So at this point, this is kind of one of those questions that you're just asking for good measure, because if you're really being proactive in the interview, then you would have already addressed some of the things that you might have felt would be an issue for you being in the position. You would have already confidently showed them why you can use those things as leverage in the job and why those things won't be a liability. But this is still a good question to ask to make sure that you're just crossing your I's and dotting your T's. You can address whatever element is still left in the room and leave the interview knowing that the interviewer isn't second guessing about what you can do for them. Asking these questions will help you leave a lasting impression in the interviewer's mind. And the key here is to preface your questions by showing that you understand something about the question already and that you just want to get more information. This is going to help you show that you already have done your research and you're looking to get a deeper understanding of the company, the team, or the role. Asking these questions are going to increase your chances of moving on to the next round and ultimately getting hired. In my next video, I'm going to be walking you through how to answer the tricky question, why should we hire you? So if you want to know how to answer that question, go ahead and like this video, subscribe, and tap the bell so that you do not miss out on that video when it drops. And in the meantime, leave a comment and let me know which one of these questions do you plan to ask in your next interview.